Welcome to our tutorial video. Today, we'll walk you through the steps of designing a fully functional coffee machine user interface from using the G+Coffee GUI designer tool. The tutorial will cover the design of 3 key screens: the main screen, setting screen, and the progressing screen. By following these steps, you'll be able to easily create an intuitive, user-friendly, and aesthetic interface. Before we start designing, the necessary materials have to be prepared first. 1. Importing images. First, create a new project. Select Image in the left toolbar and click Import Image. Select all the images needed for the project from your folder and click Open. Little tip: you can also drag all the images you need directly from File Explorer into the image slot on the left. It's quicker and more convenient. 2. Importing fonts. Next, we're going to set the font settings, which are crucial for text display quality. Click New in the font field on the left toolbar. Name the font, for example, Coffee Font, and set the size to 18. Then, select the font file stored in the project's font folder. Key step: in the bits pixels drop-down menu, make sure to select 8 bits pixels. This is because the default 4 bits pixels setting can cause jagged edges on the characters. Selecting 8 bits pixels solves this problem, resulting in smoother character edges. Finally, enter all the text you'll use in the project in the character field, such as the names of the various coffee varieties and settings. Once completed, click Create. Your customized font will be added to the font menu. This video will show you how to design the first main screen for the coffee machine, including basic settings for the home screen. For the coffee variety settings and processing screens, please refer to Part 2 and Part 3 of the tutorial videos. Now, let's design the main screen of the coffee machine. 1. Basic settings for the main screen. In Attribute on the right, name the screen Main Screen. Enable the background. In this example, we'll set the background to a coffee-colored gradient with the color hashtag 481D0E and the gradient color to hashtag F0D8BC. For the gradient direction, please select vertical. 2. Coffee item button design. Here we take Americano as an example. Add a button and name it Americano button. Enable background image and select the needed background image. Adjust the button's width and height to 180 to ensure the background image is fully visible. Enable background and set the opacity to 0 to remove the button's background color. Enable shadow and set the width to 0 to remove the button's shadow. In the State drop-down menu under Style, select Pressed. Enable background image and select the background image that appears when the button is pressed. This will provide visual feedback when it's clicked. Then drag the coffee item image onto the screen. Add a panel and name it Americano Panel. Set its width and height to 190, making it slightly larger than the button to fully display the background image. Enable background and border and set both the opacity and width to 0 to hide the panel. Drag the button and coffee image below the Americano panel in the dendrogram on the left, making them the sub-items of the panel. Adjust the order of the components so that the coffee image appears on the button. Set the X and Y coordinates of both the button and coffee image to 0, aligning them to the center. After the adjustment, add a label and name it Label 1. Enter the name of the coffee variety, Americano, in the text field. Enable Label, set the text color to white, and select the coffee font you imported earlier. Then, from the dendrogram, drag the label widget below the panel. Adjust the order of the sub-items so that the label appears on the image. Set the labels X to 0 and Y to -55 to make the text move to the correct position. After completing the first coffee item button, you can copy the entire panel, including all the widgets, in the dendrogram, and set up other coffee items by simply modifying the button details, eliminating the tedious steps of starting from the beginning. 3. Coffee item panel. After completing all the coffee buttons, remember to change the panel scroll bar mode from the default auto to off to prevent the buttons from scrolling when you use the mouse wheel. Add a new panel and name it Panel 1. Set its width to 850 and height to 220 to accommodate all the button panels. Next, enable background and border and set the opacity and width to 0 to hide the panel. Drag all the coffee buttons in the dendrogram below panel 1 to make them sub-items of the panel. Next, in the drop-down menu of Flex and Layout, enable Flow. This function will automatically align the buttons within the panel. Since this panel is centered, set the X and Y to 0. Finally, add a new label and name it Label 5. In the text field, enter the title Coffee Time and set the text color to white and the font to Montserrat 20. Set the labels X to 0 and Y to -215 to make the title move to the top center of the screen. This completes the screen. After completing the above steps, the main screen is ready. For the coffee item settings and processing screen, please refer to the tutorial video Part 2 and Part 3. If there's any question, feel free to leave a comment. See you in the next video.